Hey everyone, today I've got your Mortal Engines movie review. 1,000 years in the future and the world is living on the road. In the words of Barmir, what is this new devilry? So as far as the story goes, Christian Rivers makes his directorial debut with a movie based on a young adult novel series that reminds me a little bit of Howl's Moving Castle meets Percy Jackson. Now, sometimes that alone is a hit or miss for me. I mean, it's a post-apocalyptic setting where there are legit cities on wheels, and one girl is supposed to be the hero in the story and start some kind of revolution. I mean, I wasn't completely sold on the concept at first, and I thought it was really cool how they sort of played it out in the beginning of the movie, but then it slowly started to fizzle out into a whole bunch of random stuff that I quite frankly didn't really care about by the end of it. However, knowing that Peter Jackson produced and wrote this screenplay with his Lord of the Rings creative team made it even more disappointing in the end, because before I saw this movie I was thinking, okay, is this gonna be a Peter Jackson directed movie? Now maybe I would have preferred he did this instead, even though Christian Rivers, who has worked with him on The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and many of his other films in the past as a like a visual artist instead of being a director, even though he was a second unit director for The Hobbit. But I kind of compared him to Wally Pfister, who directed Transcendence, and obviously Wally Pfister was the DP for Christopher Nolan and his films, and this movie felt very basic and cliche in one sense and complicated and hard to follow in another. So as far as the casting goes, now I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the actors in this movie, even though it may not exactly be their fault in that respect, because I mean, you've got Hugo Weaving, who we see in one of the roles, but he kind of comes off as this villain. We know he can pull off villains pretty well, but in this movie it just felt very just lame and quite frankly laughable at times. And Stephen Lang is also in this movie, who obviously is unrecognizable with his character, but the main girl of this movie, who plays Hester Shaw, I thought she was okay. I mean, some of her line deliveries came out like a broken record, and the characters in general were just very bland, and I wasn't as sympathetic with any situation that they put themselves in. So the things that I liked about this movie was that the fantasy elements were pretty cool to look at, which is what, obviously, like I said, the director was previously known for. And it pretty much ended there, because I didn't, see anything else that really, like, just eye-poppingly impressed me. So the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that it got boring by the end of the movie. And obviously, because there was so much going on, those things were cool, but there really wasn't a scene that felt memorable to me. And the pacing felt jumpy at times, and I was like, okay, I know I didn't read the book, but I doubt it would be this much of a mess of a film. So overall, I would say that this movie, I don't really think I enjoyed it as much as I was thinking I would. Not that I was really having like a lot of high anticipation for this film, but I don't know, I mean, as long as you're entertained by this, cool. I personally wasn't, so I'm on the fence about recommending it to you guys. I honestly feel like it's a movie you should skip altogether, because if you only want to see a movie for the visuals and not the story, then be my guest. So I would give this 2.5 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Mortal Engines. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates coming every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.